Hello my friends and welcome to another episode of Andrew Good Camera. In today's episode, I'll be showing you my everyday carry. Over the past year, personal experiences in my life have led me to feel the need to be better prepared in many areas. Better prepared as a father, as a husband, as a community member. Be the sort of person that others can depend on, and there are many things that go into being that sort of person. But we are the product of our choices and the product of our products in some ways. And when we have intentionality and prepare to face a day, the choice of what goes into our pockets, our wallets, camera bags, etc., all of that can have an impact on ourselves and those around us. And today I want to talk about how my everyday carry has evolved into something that I take fairly serious and I'm happy with. And since I know that most of you are here because of cameras, yes, that will be included in my everyday carry aspects of my photography, but a lot more than that as well. But I will save that more towards the end of the video because I don't always have a camera with me, but some aspects of my everyday carry kit I do have on me every day. As far as my phone goes, this is my favorite phone I've ever owned. This is the Google Pixel Pro Fold 9. I was not sure about this one when I was making the decision of whether or not to buy it. It's not a cheap phone, and I wasn't sure that I would enjoy the fold if it was kind of gimmicky, something that maybe I just would never use, or if it even would hold up to the rigors of continual usage. But I have been completely happy with it. I really love being able to turn this phone into essentially a tablet. And as someone who writes a lot, I find myself using this quite a bit for writing, but I just really love it. Also with my waning vision, it's really nice to have the ability to pull things up really large. It's great. I haven't regretted this decision. I know there's a Pro Fold 10, and honestly, I have no idea what is better about that one than this one, but I'm happy with it, and I can't think of any reason why I would move to something else until this one is just, until I can't use it anymore. I also like this case. I can't remember what it is exactly, but I can link to it below. But I really like magnetized cases and being able to attach a wallet to it. I am horrible at remembering both a wallet and a phone. I lose them, I leave them. If they're stuck together, I just never forget one or the other. And so this is awesome, a magnetized wallet thing. This is super cheap. Just got it off of Amazon. Again, I'll link to it below, but it does the trick. Central to my everyday carry is the tactical belt. This beefy boy is the Vetter ratcheting belt, and it's nice because it ratchets and it's thick and it's hefty. It's got some girth, and this is the foundation for people who take walking out the front door very seriously.
It's a dangerous business, Frodo, going out your door.
I have found this to be a very solid everyday carry platform and pants keeper honor as I've lost weight. This has been especially helpful. And it does allow me to holster my most important, most used, and highest priority everyday carry items. But before we get into those, let's talk about the holder, if you will, the holster, if I could use that term. I'm excited to share this with you because it's top shelf, it's top notch, it's the Topstache belt organizer. And I suppose it's worth saying at this point that what I carry with me every day is modularized. I don't put it all together in the same pocket or the same bag or whatever. I try to keep things a little bit modularized so that the most important things always go with me, say for a quick trip to the store, whereas for longer day trips or traveling, or if I'm doing photography, different things go along with me. First, the Topstache is made with genuine leather, and this thing has been exactly perfect for holding the stuff that I want to have with me all the time. And the first thing that I'll mention that I like about the Topstache holder is the key leash. And on all our key rings at our house, we pretty much just have two things, just a car key and a palm pepper spray. With a house of 4 drivers in it, and one more on the way. Rather than keeping pepper spray on my person, I like to have it on the car keys. So my wife and my kids, we always have one with us wherever we go. I think this is probably statistically one of the most effective and least risky way for us to have some defensive utility as a family. And I have taken my kids out and made sure that they have all had a chance to practice with these pepper spray devices to see how they work, to see what the range is, where it's effective, and not to be afraid to use it. I got this from Amazon in a 5-pack, and that's great because it gives you some extra to train with. When crap goes sideways, we devolve to our lowest form of training. So if you're going to protect yourself, have children protect themselves, or spouses with something like this, it's probably worth spending some time and getting used to how you use them. Next up, we have a Streamlight ProTac flashlight. I used to think having a phone flashlight was sufficient, but after having carried tactical flashlights on my person now for a while, I feel totally naked without having one with me. I use this way more than I thought I would. It's far superior than a phone for lots of reasons. For one, it's just so much more quick to deploy. Also, this is great for hands-free use because you can stick it on a bill of a hat, right? And it becomes a headlamp. And that's really nice. It's really helpful, and it stays on there really well. I have found that this isn't going anywhere. It's got some good friction going. But even if I don't have a hat on me, I tend to do this a lot, just stick it in my mouth while I work on stuff, and it's really sanitary and gets the job done. Additionally, a flashlight can be, I guess, a defensive weapon, some blunt force, I don't know, contact, I've heard, maybe, but you know, for someone who doesn't grapple or have that sort of training, what I'm more interested in is its ability to temporarily distract an assailant, perhaps helping to give you an extra second to get away. And so for that reason, I think it's probably second place when it comes to just behind the mace spray. That's my personal feeling anyway. I'm not a defense expert by any means, but I do feel like there's more effectiveness here than other things like knives or other blunt force weapons. Speaking of blunt weapons, next up is something that honestly is more of a fidget toy for me than anything else. I don't think I've needed to use this actually once since I started carrying it, though if you've ever needed a pen when you didn't have one, it can be frustrating. And this little tactical pen is good for writing as well as, I guess, maybe defensive purposes. This is the Everyday Keras Basic 001 Brass pen. I love the machining and the weight of it. I'm a pen flipper. It's how I release my anxious energy when I'm in meetings or waiting in lines or at doctor's offices. I just really like flipping a good heavy pen. Though this one I sort of wish was just a bit longer, but it's really comfortable with these smooth chamfers. It uses my favorite refillable pen, G2 gels. And I just really love the way it deploys. The tactile feel just pushes all the buttons as a great utility fidget device. I have removed the clip as it just fits fine and through friction here in the pen holder. It's fun, I like it, and I like having it on me. Next up, we have a box cutter, which is something I use all the time. I know I could get something with a much smaller footprint, but as I mentioned with my pen, I really love having something to flip around as a fidget toy, as well as utility, and this thing is just perfect for that. This is a titanium, balisong, or butterfly knife style box cutter, which I would certainly not recommend going crazy with the blade inserted. But what I love about this guy is that it's just so easy to remove the blade and just play with this as a balisong trainer when I'm just killing time and need to deal with some anxiety. But as I mentioned with the pen, I really like having something to flip around and fidget with, and as well as utility. And this is perfect for that, as long as the blade is not in it. It's really light, it's titanium, and it's kind of, I'm not super comfortable doing this up here high like this. But yeah, I mean, when I'm just killing time, you know, or if I want to look like intimidating, you know, hoping people won't notice that there's just no blade on there. really I have to be doing stuff, and it's kind of hard to demonstrate this here at this angle. I'm normally down lower, but you get the idea. It's just fun. It's fun times. It's a toy, guys, and it's also for utility, and it really it scratches the itch for me. So I really love it. I was thinking that I might not. I have me and my kids, we like to balisong flip. We're really kind of into it. It's fun for ADHD kids like mine. It provides a lot of like energy focus, I guess, especially if you need to talk to them about anything. It'd be surprising. They actually listen better when they've got something like this to focus their attention on. But the bladeless ones, you want to get the ones that are trainers, and I can leave some links to some that I enjoy. But anyway, what's my point? You probably don't care about this either, but this is a toy, and I love it, and it opens boxes too. I just celebrated Thanksgiving with extended family, and this was a lifesaver for just giving me a way to focus all my anxious energy while sitting on the couch and having uncomfortable conversations. But mostly, this is great for opening Amazon or just other crap that we have delivered all the time. And really, for me, it's eliminated the need for what everyone seems to think you have to have EDC-wise, and that's a knife. I mean, I did get a knife, and it's this one, and it's just an auto folder. I did for a while hang it on the outside of the holster, but I don't keep it with me anymore, as I don't think it's super necessary. The box cutter provides 95% of the cutting utility that I find that I need. For camping or other outdoorsy stuff, I'm sure this knife would be nice, but I don't know that I would rely on it for a self-defense situation, certainly. Anyway, I've got the box cutter, which maybe that's more of a deterrent anyway. It looks kind of like threatening, I guess, like I might know what I'm doing if I'm flipping around. I can't imagine a knife really saving my life, relying on it to do so. This is my first not cheap knife, and certainly my first auto-deploying folding knife I've ever purchased. This is a Benchmade something or other, and I like the size. It's not too big, not too small. And when I've handed it to other people and they've deployed it, they're never quite prepared for the sheer kinetic energy that this thing has packed into it. It's surprisingly snappy, but I don't keep it with me. If I did want a knife, this would be great. I do keep some tweezers here. These are the VGEBY EDC tweezers. They're titanium. I have not yet had the occasion to use these, but they are super light owing to the titanium. They weren't that expensive, and they take up zero space, so why not? There's also one more item I keep with me on this holster, but I'm gonna come back to that one because I think right now, I don't know. I think I'm gonna save it to the end of the video because people are gonna think I'm paranoid because of reasons. But I'll come back to it and you'll be rewarded for watching the rest of the video, but it will go right here. In the meantime, let's move over to the next module, the thing that I don't always, every time I go out, bring with me, but most of the time I do, especially if I'll be gone for more than an hour or if we're going to some sort of outing. This is my pocketable man purse and all the little goodies that go into it. No step on snack. This is the VIPERADE VE10 EDC pouch, and it is the perfect size for all the things I want to have with me. It will go into a pocket just fine, but often I just throw it in the car or in a bag. Regardless, it's super easy to keep with me at all times. As I am now over the hump, as it were, entering the second half of my life, I find that my close-up vision is worse than my far-away vision, but I'm really bad at remembering my reading glasses, so this has really come in handy when I gotta read that fine print or work on a bike in the garage, or if I've traveled and I've forgotten my big chunky reading glasses. And so, you know, these are my chunky big boy reading glasses that that make me look super intelligent. Since I got LASIK, some of you who've watched the channel for a while, you'll remember that I used to wear chunky glasses like this, and before I got LASIK. Then I got LASIK, and I could see for a beautiful, I don't know, 5 years or 4, I don't know. It's been wonderful, 20/20 vision, and then I realized that no, not so fast, Andrew, because yeah, up close, there's not much they can do about that. I actually didn't know that until recently, that, yeah, there's not much you can do about that up close vision. So, you know, these are stylish and fashionable, but these ones, because I forget these I always do. They don't come with me anywhere. I just forget them. So if I'm traveling at an office somewhere far away or whatever, then these are always with me, and surprisingly fashionable. Just kidding, not fashionable, but surprisingly effective. They actually work really, really great. Look, I can read the text on the Nikon battery here. Oh wow, I really can read that. And this is some fine print, my friends, but I can read it just fine. And these are just really, I geek out because they're like Transformers, and they're toys and also utility. These did come with a nice case, but it adds too much bulk. So I just wrap them up in the microfiber, and that works great. And that's the only thing I keep on the outside of my pouch. So let's open it up and find some other things that make me really happy. These are perhaps the smallest, not crappy Bluetooth earbuds that I could find. These are the JLab JBud Mini Bluetooth earbuds, and I absolutely love them. They are tiny and fit great in my little pouch. Headphones are the things that I am always losing, that I can never find when I need them, and I always forget them when I'm going on road trips or flights, and by having them in my EDC pouch, they're just always with me. And so far, I have not lost them. They have good audio quality, and these are great. I cannot recommend them enough if you do, like me, have a man purse and need to fill it with things. Next up, we have the Nitecore Carbon Battery 6000 power bank. And this guy has already saved me once, and I'm sure it will again in the future, because I always forget to charge my phone when I'm gonna be gone really long time at wherever. And this is a problem that I have. And one of the most important reasons why I even have this EDC system now. I often find myself traveling or away from home, and have a bit of a phone battery crisis. This provides a lot of peace of mind. The only thing I wish it had was a nice way to connect the USB like built into it, but it's not the end of the world because it is so small and round. And this little USB-C cable thing that goes along with me, this is great. And it comes in handy not just for the power bank, but also just for connecting to all sorts of other things in a pinch. Next up, we have the TISUR, TISUR, small titanium pill case. When I got this, I thought I'd be attaching it to something, but ended up not using it that way. I just put it right here. So I may replace this at some point with something smaller, because this is actually larger than I thought it would be. These little containers keep a backup supply of my prescription medication, as well as allergy meds, painkiller, etc. These are modular. You can kind of stack them and add as many as you want. The times I've realized that I've forgotten either to take my meds in the morning or get hit with a headache or allergies when I'm away from home, they're far too many. And that's not going to be an issue going forward, which is some really great peace of mind. These tiny tools have been fantastic to have on my person. I use them a lot. It's really hard to get the perspective of just how small this 711 mini ratchet wrench is. It's so awesome, and I use it all the time, like I said. But these other things came separately in a kit with a funny little hand wrench. I don't have it with me, but I don't keep that little hand wrench with me, just I guess a screwdriver sort of thing. I just got the pack from the idea from another YouTuber for the nice little extension and for the additional leverage that provides, and all these various little double-sided heads. Together, this is just a nice little, perfect little pack. Back in the pocket, we've got some backup earplugs, AZEN 25 dB NRRs. These are really affordable, and you can buy them in bulk, and they're very effective. Most especially, I use them. I have a bunch with me for when we shoot stuff in the desert, but they're great in hotels or other places when people are snoring. And these are surprisingly effective, and it's nice just to have them for when I forget larger over-the-ear type ear protection. As a photographer and videographer, it's always a really good idea to have a backup SD card handy, like a mini SD with an adapter. I like a mini SD with an adapter because then I'm covered for all types of electronics, whether a recording device, which uses the mini SD, or my main camera. My Nikon ZF actually does take a mini SD also, so this really is perfect, but there's the adapter as well, so I'm covered. I also like to keep a USB to USB-C adapter because I can't tell you how many times I've needed one and couldn't find one anywhere. Moving over to the right side, we've got some more fun folding toys. We have a pair of folding scissors. These are the FISKARS folding travel scissors, TSA compliant. Honestly though, I was a bit disappointed with the quality here. They are fine, but I might try something else in the future that feels a little bit higher quality. I prefer actual scissors over like a Swiss Army style scissors where you manipulate just one side of the scissors. I like actually being able to cut like real scissors do, but these aren't the ones I'd recommend. Then over here we have something else I use all the time. These are my munkees ultra thin nail clippers, and for all that I was disappointed with the scissors, it's more than made up for with these guys. These are awesome, and instead of hunting around my house for fingernail clippers that one of my kids has probably left in an obscure place, I just use these all the time now, and they are amazingly effective. Also, these cool little tweezers that are very well known among the EDC dudes, I guess. These are the Uncle Bill's sliver grippers. I have not yet found occasion to use them, but they're so tiny, there's just really no reason not to have it in here. Here in the pocket, I have a second pen in stark contrast to my brass beefy boy. This is my backup pen, which is the tiniest little pen that I have ever seen. It's almost hilarious. This thing is so small, it could probably go in most regular wallets, so might as well throw it in. This is the OHTO, OHTO NBP-505, and it's adorable. In the pocket behind, I've got some various things, a spare 20, and then some medical things like alcohol wipes, Band-Aids, there's a lens cleaner. I've got oil vault oil, which you won't know what that's about unless you happen to be LDS or know much about LDS, which is my religion. And I really love the peace of mind of this. This is QuikClot, which is awesome for use with severe wounds. I have not had occasion to use it. I hope I never do, but in case I do, this is what the military uses. It's a hemostatic dressing, which promotes blood clotting. And then we've got a couple matches that I love so much. These are the best. I've cut them short because they're big normally, but I love putting these in here because of all things that I could have in my kit. I know these will for sure start a fire. Like no matter what is happening, these will both light and definitely burn anything that I need to burn. Probably a lighter, maybe a small EDC lighter might be better, but I don't know. I just love these. This is the brand. This is the, what is it? UOO? I'm not sure. Where's my reading glasses? I'll use the chunky guys. These are made by UCO Gear, ucogear.com, but they're also on Amazon, and they are the best. These matches are amazing. I have started fires like I know what I'm doing with these, but they will burn everything, and they won't go out until they're out. In the process, I've never failed to start a fire in all kinds of weather condition with these. They are amazing. None better. I've tried a lot. Not a sponsor, but they've changed my life. That's why I love them. However, I will say that these matches are the only thing in here that I would not be able to travel with on a plane, so sadly those have to come out if I'm headed to the plane. Hopefully I never forget. Maybe that's an argument not to have them in here, but I do love them. Putting these in a Ziploc bag made me realize I almost forgot the most important, well, maybe not the most important, but absolutely one of my favorite items buried at the bottom. These are my PJoy Mini polyhedral dice set for D&D or other tabletop role-playing games. This 7-piece dice set contains the basic set of dice you need to be able to play adult 4Pretend's Dragon games with your geeky friends. I have these dice here just in case I ever show up to game night without my own set of dice. This will likely never happen, but I can't think of any catastrophe worse, so best be prepared. It's hard to explain how small these dice are, and without my new reading glasses I could not even hope to see the numbers. But as a man who loves playing TTRPG games like D&D with my friends, these make me very happy. And I will say that as I've dealt with mental and emotional challenges navigating the modern dystopian hellscape that we live on, connecting with friends in a fictional land and fighting pretend's heroic battles and having epic adventures has been one of the best ways that I have improved my mental health by connecting with others. I highly recommend it to any of you watching who need a healthy way to connect with other people. And if you're interested in joining me at one of my virtual tables, you can join my Discord channel below. So that's my extended day carry pouch, and it's great. It's all pocketable, though I often will just throw it in my camera bag. It is pocketable, it's totally doable, and it's great. Next up, we have the tried and true, oh faithful camera that I carry. This is the X100v. I love this camera so much. I know there is a newer version, and I know that many of you perhaps expected me to review that camera at some point. But life, money, and priorities, such as they are, honestly, I just have had no occasion to try anything but this. This camera does everything I need, and I don't think I'll replace it until/if it bites the dust. And it is well on its way to biting the dust, as you can see from the rear. That you know, I don't use this articulating screen any longer. I'm unable to do so. This could use a trip to Fuji Repairland, but I honestly I haven't really needed that screen much anyway. I damaged this when it was on a tripod doing video, and it fell. And other than that, like for photography, I just have no need for this articulating screen, so it's fine. I haven't had the priority or the urgency, I guess, to send it in for repair. I believe I've done a review of this device though in the past, so feel free to hit up that review if you want to know more about it. But that's my camera. And I have found that this Peak Design range carry case, which is, I don't know, maybe 8 years old now, this thing works great. I've carried the X100v many ways, tried many different ways to carry it, and this is my favorite, my preferred. When I've got my beefy tactical belt, I can strap this on very nicely and simply. It doesn't go anywhere, it's secure, and the camera deploys nice and smoothly. It's wonderful. When I don't have a shoulder or waist pack or bag of any kind, this definitely is the least bulky way to carry it. Certainly it's better than a strap. I just have learned through the years that I really hate straps. They get caught in things, they get twisted up. I don't like them when I've got bags or other things where I'm getting in and out of vehicles. They're just too much trouble. Maybe there's a case for protecting your device more or having it secure around your neck during use, but for me, it's all about function, the tactical nature of what I can do, and straps, my friends, straps, they are not tactical. And so speaking of tactical, let's get into our last 2 items. All right, my friends, so we've made it pretty far through the modules, and now we're getting to our last, and our last 2 items, actually, that I'm gonna cover. And yeah, it's a lot. I know, you're probably like, Andrew, that's a lot of stuff to put on your body. And I don't always have all this stuff, but sometimes I do. I actually don't mind it. I feel more comfortable, more prepared. I like it. I like feeling, I like the way that I feel, knowing that I have all the things I need when I need them. It's a good feeling. You should try it. You really should. But I'm kind of beating around the bush because partially I don't really want to talk about the one of the last 2 items because I know that many of you are not going to like to hear about it. And so I will say this, I don't tend to talk about controversial things, but I may choose to do so a little bit more in the future because of things that have happened in our lives. And this item is one that it goes along with the medical stuff that I have. And I personally, I've always been opposed to firearms in the past, or I don't know about opposed. I've never had strong feelings politically about it, but I have personally never wanted them in our family, in my home, on my person, and never had a desire to really shoot them. They just weren't for me, and that was that. So I do now, and again, not gonna dive all into the reasons, but I will say this. When I decided to carry a gun, I also decided at that time that I believe that if you are going to be a protector, someone who desires to protect, to be someone dependable and a steward of your family, your community, that it is as important to be prepared to save lives in a multitude of ways, not end them, right? Because it's more likely, far more likely, that you will need to administer first aid, for instance, or some life-saving measure to somebody than it would be to use lethal force to stop it from happening. I believe that if anyone feels strongly enough that they should carry a firearm with them to protect life, if they really believe that, then it would be hypocritical not to have trained also in first aid and first response, CPR, first response type care. And so that is why, for me, I've committed that if I carry a firearm, I will also carry the means to administer first aid. And one of the most important ones is a tourniquet, I think. I think having a tourniquet, there are others. I think holding an EpiPen would be interesting as well. I already showed you the QuikClot. There's certain things that I think are light enough that if you choose to carry a firearm, I think you should also carry those other things, because it would be, I think, hypocritical. This is just my opinion. It'll be interesting to read all of the comments I get about all this stuff. But this is the ETQ. It's the Everyday Carry Tourniquet. This thing is incredibly compact, which is why it works really well on my holster setup. And just like with the pepper spray and other things, I have taken the time to learn how to use this, to train with it and practice with it, because in a true emergency, like a severe car accident, a workshop accident, garage accident, at the range or at the beach, shark bite, I don't know, whatever it is, I want to be ready to deploy it quickly and correctly, and the seconds matter when you're talking arterial bleeding. Having something like this is only valuable if you've trained with it. I like it. It's a good peace of mind. The last one I'm gonna talk about firearms for a minute. That I do carry a firearm now. Not until recently, and not lightly, and as a result of things that I may talk about in other videos, or may have already. I don't know. I don't know when this video is going to pop up. This is the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0, and it's something that I carry concealed in two different ways. I'll get to the way that I carry it. But as far as it goes, when it comes to lethal force and protection, the Bodyguard 2 is micro compact. It's hard to really show you just how small this is. Maybe if I compare it to my glasses, it's so small, and it also packs a punch. It's a 380. This size, it makes it just so easy to conceal and carry. It's not as bulky as other weapons, and it's not heavy, and it can still hold plenty of rounds, all the rounds that you would ever need, probably in most situations. For me, this isn't about being tactical or cool. This is about just being prepared in an absolute worst case scenario where my family or innocent people around me are facing imminent or serious harm. And I really do hope that it never comes to that. That's the goal, right? the dream. And then as far as the way that I carry it, there are two ways that I do carry this firearm. One is in the appendix carry position with this holster, the Vetter holster. This thing is made by the same people that make my belt, and it's fine. It's probably bigger than it needs to be, is what I'm realizing, but it's fine, and it keeps the gun very, very secure. And it's a very good way to conceal carry. Does not print at all. Just not the most comfy way to carry, but it is the way that I carry if I'm out and about and in it mostly standing. But if I'm going to be sitting a lot, if it's a long car ride and I'm going somewhere maybe where I will be mostly sitting, not standing, not moving, then this is my preference, because appendix carry is not pleasant. and it's not going to save me enough time as far as deployment to be worth it. This is the DeSantis Nemesis pocket holster, and it's actually really great. I think it's, I was worried about it being flimsy, but it's not. It's super hard, and even though it is kind of fabric-y, and it doesn't print, right? It allows the gun to not print when it's in my pocket, and it's easy to deploy. This little J, I guess, shape allows it to hook onto the pocket as the gun is pulled out, and that's really nice. It's actually, it can be really quickly deployed if needed, but it's the other way that I carry, and those two methods seem to work great for me. That's it. That's what I carry on me. Maybe excessive, but you know, I haven't found it to be overly burdensome. I'm sure it probably would feel like a lot to some of you, and I'm not recommending it for everybody who likes to travel super light, but if you're the paranoid type like I have become, then the peace of mind, you know, it's worth it. It's worth the burden, it's worth the price, I believe, I think. Thanks for watching. Like always, what do I say when I haven't done a video for so long? I don't know, but I hope you're all doing well. Take care.